Hello and welcome to Compelled to Impact. I'm so excited to talk with you today about your expanding territory. It's going to mean something different for each person. But if you've been feeling like your life has been purging and decluttering for the past few months, or you've been doing the work to organize and simplify, even if it's felt chaotic and messy, don't worry. That's what happens before expansion and increase. It's being prepared for you. So do what you need to do to stay ready. It could be in one or more areas of your life, but don't mistake it for falling apart. God knows you and what you've been doing to move into what will fulfill you and your current destination. In a couple of previous videos, I've mentioned Jabez and how he asked for his territory to expand, as well as for his life to not cause trouble or pain. He was honorable and followed his desire to add value to his life and those he loved. No doubt he did this his due diligence each day so that he was ready to receive his expanding life. It doesn't just come from nothing. You do have to be invested in some way and involved. Here's where you come in. No matter how long you've been waiting for some kind of abundance or increase, if you've been diligently and patiently waiting and doing your part, preparing yourself and your presence, God's divine nature has been preparing the way for you. When you are consistent in doing the work to improve your thoughts, beliefs, words, and actions, something magical happens as you reach a new level that's in alignment with what has been prepared for you. There is a clear series of events just waiting for this moment, and even more evident when it develops in reality. Now, I got this prophetic word last week, almost a whole week ago, and it just wasn't time to share it. And I never really know why, but if this is your exact timing for this and you're ready to receive it, then that is why. I don't want to rush past this because it is a key piece in your joy, satisfaction, fulfillment, and sense of abundance. Although I do want to give you some background and then a simple way to prepare your heart to be clean and your mind to allow the miracles in. In ancient scripture, there are seemingly hidden words, but they're not. They just get passed over of encouragement that can easily transport you into your alignment, assignment, agreement. I've been on this earth long enough to see and hear things that are not completely correct, besides all the things that can be correct, even if the people saying them mean well. Only you know if the process is exactly for you. Now, hear me out, because some of the words I'll say might feel unpleasant or offensive. Not in a terrible way, but it might not hit you correct. I mean, straight in your heart. It might take a little jagged detour because of past trauma or other things that put you in that place in the past. And that's because they've been skewed and associated with oppression and punishment, which was part of some prevalent belief systems in the past, and maybe even now, especially religious belief systems for centuries. I'm here to tell you that was never meant to be the case, and the truth will set you free. I'm sure I'll get a buttload of messages telling me how wrong I am. That doesn't matter to me, really, because those old stifling beliefs have kept people in bondage through inconsistencies and incongruent lessons for far too long. When I migrated from one stifling belief system through others, the one thing that stood out was human ego, keeping people from searching for their own relationship with God or higher power. And that part of being a Christian, that seemed to mean that you needed to tell other people that they're sinners. They're bad people who can't operate their own human vehicle on their own timeline and journey. But the truth is, Each one of us has our own individual journey. We're just all here together at the same time. And kindness goes a long way in understanding that. I didn't walk away from those beliefs quickly, but began seeking truth within those systems. I believed there had to be some redeeming factors. One was to be sure that my children were in a safe environment and experienced interactions with some strong role models. Raising them as a single mom made it critical to provide more stability for them. One of the most important elements of working out and strengthening your spiritual muscles is to continually seek, learn, and implement the fact that you are loved. You can learn how to love others while still feeling safe and unharmed in the giving. The most important element of who you are is love through your unseen spirit. The pillar of fire and cloud that guided and protected the people through the desert in Exodus is the same as the reflection of love in your spirit. I can't really give an adequate background to this without hours of recording, which I won't go into right now. We need to get to the gist of this video. Suffice to say that generations of people have followed and adapted religious beliefs to mean something far from these simple words. You are a reflection of love, of the divine presence of the all-present, all-knowing, all-encompassing author and anchor of life. You are here at this time through an assignment agreement that you made to come to your specific alignment, to change your legacy and set free the generations before you who couldn't see a way out of the drudgery that was their life. Words are powerful, so much so that in 2008, Dr. Masaru Emoto published his findings that had his students conduct an experiment with half of them speaking mean words to a glass of water and the other half speaking words of love to another glass of water. The result was the chaotic formation in the frozen water that received the mean words versus beautiful formations in the frozen water that received encouraging words. I'll leave a link in the description notes for you to check that out on your own. I'm sure there have been a lot more experiments since then, but this is the one that stands out the most. This is fascinating and shows us how much more important it is to speak love and life to yourself and everyone around you. You don't need to know and love people, really, to speak life and kindness to them. It's those tiny interactions sometimes that just lift somebody up, and we never know how much. This not only improves their lives and yours, but contributes to raising the level of higher living in ripples. Who knows how far those go? Words and intentions hold the potential to change the world. This is what these three ancient scriptures are telling us. The first is, and this is what it actually says, continue to work out your salvation and with fear and trembling. But that doesn't mean to be afraid. Words in ancient scriptures have been misconstrued because I think a lot of the time they're also misinterpreted. But the words that I was given are continue to work out your life here on earth with awe and wonder at the way this life works and everyone you encounter. And then trembling with the excitement of a child going to do or experience something that's on the top of their list of the funnest things to do. Disneyland. Your salvation is the process of putting things straight that have been in chaos and convoluted for too long, even before you or your parents were born. The second scripture is, you didn't come here with a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. It's humans who have convoluted the meanings, mostly because of their own fear or to control other people. This is not from the manifest presence of God, which is alive in your spirit. That's why things feel off sometimes. If a person or situation isn't congruent with what your spirit knows as the truth of love, you feel it, usually in your gut, but sometimes in your heart. Don't settle for less. That thing that you can't put your finger on, but you know it isn't right. That's your spirit telling you it's not the answer you're looking for. Run in the other direction because what you're looking for will give you a sense of power, love, and control over yourself that gives you the confidence and a sense of abundance in access to everything you need for a fuller and holy life. The third verse tells us that worry or anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. That's pretty self-explanatory. Supporting the power of words and why it's necessary to use that power for the higher good is the gist of it. It also becomes evident that the more you speak words of life to yourself and others, the easier it becomes, and the more you will experience goodness spreading into all areas of your life. This works even when you're sitting in a pool of adversity and difficult challenges. My life is proof of this, which I won't go into details in this video, but the years I actually have been well behaved, well balanced, that's funny, toward myself and others were the years that I haven't been concerned about what I don't have and still feel the abundance from the fullness of my heart. Now, you're probably wondering what wrong turns my life took. I'll only share that at a point in my life of multiple loss, I lost hope so severely that it seemed almost impossible to recover from. I didn't use substances or to cope, but I was in abusive relationships that took me into the darkest shadows for decades. Once I began accepting and speaking the truth of my intrinsic value, it took some years to assimilate and demonstrate to myself the truth of it. I believe these days there's a lot more encouragement and support around people who are on this journey to leave behind the things that have destroyed them and move into the truth of abundance. The main catalyst for my change was my children. From the very firstborn to the last, except maybe a little glitch in between, their love and concern showed me that we are all worth fighting for, even me. If you are in or have been in a place where you've been derailed from this absolute all-encompassing love, just know that if you begin speaking life, you will begin to regain what had been lost or stolen, no matter how deeply or how devastating it was. Keep doing this simple thing that will intricately weave its way through your heart and mind toward the immensely amplified condition of pure, unconditional love. Don't stop and don't give up. You hold the key that can open this gateway to perfecting and expanding your best and highest life. When you are consistent in doing the work to improve your thoughts, beliefs, beliefs, words, and actions, something magical happens as you reach a new level that's in alignment with what has been prepared for you. Then it doesn't matter what you physically have or don't have. This is a key piece in your joy, in your satisfaction, fulfillment, and sense of abundance. And in doing that, you set yourself up in alignment for your territory to expand, for your increase in your life. I hope I've gotten to the point and have helped you see things a little more clearly in this area of Just be ready. Your territory is ready to expand. Thank you for listening all the way through. I hope to give you inspiration and impetus to make changes in your life, no matter what's going on around you. You are the only one who can change you. Take the risk of investing in this direction for the most profound truth of the power of words and love. And check the description notes for receiving more information and joining my newsletter on my website and any other offers that might be here at the time. As always, live excellently, give generously, and love lavishly. Thank you. Mwah. Ciao.